Don't love this man anymore. I, 33F, feel so lost after my husband's, 42M, possible infidelity 3 months before. We have been married for 15 plus years. He recently went on a work trip and opened a local dating app account. In that app, he claimed his availability for 10 days, the duration of his stay. He also emailed local sketchy massage parlors for outcall service. There were several emails between him and the massage shop, and he also asked for photos of the girl he requested. I don't know whether he actually slept with anyone, but he was always very curious about certain Asian women with petite bodies. I'm not ugly, but I have responsibilities other than keeping my body in that celebrity shape he fantasizes about. I found this evidence in his older phone, which had the same Apple ID logged in. My world literally shook, and I considered dying in pain. I trusted him so much. So, once I asked him about all this, he begged on my feet and claimed nothing had happened. He was curious about this process and just randomly sent emails to those places. But he never considered having sex with any other women. I have asked for divorce several times, and he begged our relationship for the sake of our daughter. It took me a month and a half to regain a little solace as I have a young daughter in my house and a strict commitment to my work. Honestly, I was never that attracted to him physically since we had an arranged marriage set by our parents. I knew my husband wasn't good looking, and I mended myself that way. I got very religious after my marriage and never looked twice at nice-looking men on the street or anywhere as if they were forbidden to me. I also never followed a single celebrity man on my social accounts and kept myself very reserved as well. Well, he has been very clever about his virtual activities since that incident. Yesterday, I know I was not supposed to, but I checked his Facebook out of curiosity. The search history was full of attractive women's ids pages. I feel so hurt, and the loyalty from my side feels like a joke to me. Lately, we have been fighting a lot again on trivial household issues, and I find myself verbally attacking and offending him, which I never did before. I am tired of his superiority in the house, and I won't be surprised if I do something unexpected. Living with him feels like prison and frustrating, though he takes good care of me and my daughter. He has always done that. I relied on his income until I embarked on a full-funded doctoral program. I must admit being in this program has radically shaped my self-awareness and self-confidence. I find myself too vulnerable and restless since the incident. Am I reacting too much? Any advice for me? Thanks so much. Emotional affair is seen as not really cheating. It's been about a year since the breakup. My ex-husband had an affair that was emotional only, as far as I know. 1 to 2 weeks after he left me, he started a physical relationship with AP. Whenever the topic of my divorce comes up in conversation, I tell the truth but without much detail. I usually say something like, my ex decided to have an affair with a coworker so we split up. Sometimes, they ask further and I tell them the affair was not physical. When they find out this info, some people react like, ooh okay, so he wasn't really cheating then. Whenever this happens I feel very invalidated. It seems that they think it was an unfortunate breakup but at least he did things in the right order. But, no. Developing strong feelings for someone else and then refusing to reduce contact with her was cheating. He put his potential relationship with her above our existing marriage. Texting her, during one of our dates, that he'd much rather be dancing with her and holding her that night was cheating. He was actively flirting with her while discarding me. Telling her he loved her was cheating. Wondering out loud how well their interior design styles would go together if they ever were to live together was cheating. He was planning his future with her. Sharing the contents of our private conversations, therapy sessions with her, and at the same time protecting her privacy by not telling me about what exactly was going on with her was cheating. He was teaming up with her and detaching himself from me. Then there were a bunch of things that were maybe not cheating per se, but forms of abuse that resulted directly from the cheating. Gaslighting, invalidating my feelings, comparing me to AP, telling me that she was the only thing that ever made him happy, telling me I was blocking him from being happy, not accepting any responsibility, checking out mentally and not being able to support me, using me for sex while already having decided on leaving, but not telling me yet, etc. I want those people to understand how much hurt and abuse I have to unlearn. How I do have a trauma to work through. But they seem to think I'm overreacting or something. And it makes me doubt myself. Am I overreacting? I'm not sure if I should even try to make people understand, instead of just letting them think I'm overreacting and go on with my day. Am I just trying to convince myself? Other people that survived an emotional affair, do you recognize these attitudes of people around you? Do those same thoughts, doubts come up? How do you deal with them? Ex had a woman over to his house while we were still together. I apologize in advance for the terrible formatting and possible typos. I'm on mobile. I also want to apologize for the long read. So this just happened a few days ago and I'm still trying to wrap my head around this. Mike, 23F, ex, 27M, and I had been dating since October of last year and things had started pretty well. I had just moved 3 hours away to another state, so it's not like visits were impossible. He had come to see me a few times and I also saw him last time around April. June he was supposed to come get me and bring me back to his place for his birthday, but his van wasn't working and I didn't have a car. He even offered to pay for a train and a Greyhound ticket, but they ran late at night, so I stayed home. Around this time is where the problem started. He claimed his phone had broken, so he was going to communicate with me through Facebook Messenger, but he was going to start a new account so no one else could contact him because of a previous issue he had. He messaged me every day for the first week until he just stopped texting altogether or sent 1 to 2 sentences. I didn't think anything of it until he asked me for a break until he was able to get himself into a stable position, which was fine because I also wanted to work on becoming financially stable before moving in with him. A week ago he messaged me saying that he wanted us to text more now that I started a new job and our work times lined up. Things were going smoothly until about 2 days ago when I played Animal Crossing. Someone sent me their dodo code so that I could trade items, but their message went into my chat requests which didn't notify me. Thankfully I was already on Messenger, so I saw the red dot pop up. In my requests were 2 other people. I usually look at requests to make sure it's not spam or something important before I delete the request. In the first request, a woman had stated that my BF had found another woman during our 1-month-long break and called him all sorts of names and apologized to me. The other account was the woman who claimed to be the one he was seeing, but after that she unsent every message. I also noticed that they both messaged me around the time we had started our break. I sent both accounts a message to get at least a little bit of info before I asked him if it was true. The girl he was supposedly seeing messaged me back, instantly confirmed her previous statements and apologized to me before saying that it happened around the time of our break and he told her that we weren't together. She also stated that we went to high school together. She looked to be 40. I let her know that we were still together and then blocked both accounts. I then messaged my ex and asked him if he was dating her. He claimed that she was just delusional and a stalker and to block her and the other account who was her friend. I asked him why he didn't block her and he claimed it was a rabbit hole and he was in too deep. He then started a video chat and shared his screen with me so I could see what she was sending him. He only showed me the messages from right after I blocked her. She was upset at what I said and was spamming him asking why he would get back with a black girl. He then said he had her location and showed me that she was on the way over to his house. I once again asked him why he didn't block her and why was she heading over, and he repeated the same thing. He then left the computer and said she was at the front door. He came back into view and I could hear her crying behind his monitor. I muted my microphone and closed my camera so she wouldn't know I was there. Here's how the conversation went. X. Why are you crying? Her. Why are you still with Star? X. Why are you worried about it? Her. You're still with that stupid bitch. You said you left her. At this point, I could hear her stomping around the room crying. X. Calm down, you don't listen. I never said I wasn't with her. Her. She texted me and told me that you two got back together when we're together. X. But are we together though? At this point, she kept screaming at him and calling me a stupid bitch. He had started to raise his voice and tell her to calm down because he didn't want the entire neighborhood to know that she was there and to stop insulting me or he was going to call the cops. The entire time she kept calling him babe and never once corrected her. He also called me his friend, which I later brought up. After a few more moments he told her that I was there the entire conversation. Her. Star, are you and him still together? Me. Even though we were on a break, yes. Her. Did you know I was giving him money the entire time? Me. Yes, but I don't care. Her. You do know that I've sucked his dick, right? Me. Yes, you've already stated that in your messages. Her. Have you two ever had sex before? Me. We have. Her to my ex. Babe, you guys had sex? Ex. Well, of course Star and I had sex. We've had a long sexual history. She screams and once more calls me a bitch before running out the door with him following her.